Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of this year, January 2021, I made a video titled GTA Online has doxed me. And I'm proud to say after all of that, the massive attention that video has gone, Rockstar Games has actually not bothered to fix anything. So Rockstar Games is big right now, obviously they've always have been, but GTA Expanded and Enhanced is on its way, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy is on its way, clearly Rockstar is about to print some buckaroonies. Now, to start off with, ladies and gentlemen, back then, I made this entire video about there were literally GTA mod menus that started to leak anybody's IP address as soon as they connected into GTA Online. And once they get your IP address, if you live in Canada, or if you live in Australia, or if you live in any country with shit internet service providers, they will constantly give you static IP addresses, okay? So you can pay, like for instance, I pay like hundreds of dollars, like about 150 for online services every month, okay? It's pretty extortionary, but for the 150 bucks that I pay for, I get somewhat good internet speeds, but the IP address stays the same no matter what. Meaning that once somebody gets my IP address, they can constantly DDoS me and take me off the network all the time. A couple days ago, I was actually streaming on YouTube, okay? I occasionally go on and have a good time. Well, unfortunately, there is some loser that has not mated with grass that consistently will try to DDoS me. At this point, I think they're running out of money because they're not able to get actual DDoS services to remove me, okay? It's literally like a drunken mouse going up against like a giant like brick wall, okay? Like the brick wall's gonna win. It's gonna stay in place. Of course, is the mouse peeing on it gonna be kind of annoying and disgusting? Yes, that's the situation I kind of face. My IP address constantly gets leaked. Now, every time I play GTA 5, because listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to just say it like it is. I like GTA Online, okay? A lot of people out there will probably consider what I said to be sacrilegious. Look, I enjoy GTA Online. I played it since 2013. I have a role play with my character. We have our backstories. Okay, we go back to Los Santos to grind away. I enjoy the content feed that comes into GTA. I know there's problems, but I enjoy it. Oh, what is the alternative, okay? Do I play APB Reloaded? No, I got GTA Online and that's pretty much it, alright? That's where I sit. I enjoy it, I like the gameplay, I have a good time with my friends, it is what it is. Sometimes I put on a nice podcast or some YouTube video and I grind crates in GTA Online. It's fucking therapeutic to me, and maybe it's because I played so many MMOs earlier on in my life that I'm just used to the grind. I enjoy grinding in games sometimes. You know, I don't like to get money from a mod menu because it really doesn't give me any sense of achievement, okay? If there's a $10 million yacht, you bet that I'm gonna suck off some glory holes to get the $10 million for the yacht. I know some people will think that's a waste of time, but GTA Online is one of the most played online games for, I think, a good reason. Beneath it all, there's a decent game under it, okay? Now, the problem with GTA Online is if you really want to be an absolute loser, like you really want to come across as somebody that was dropped at birth, you go sign on to GTA Online, you go to Warstock Cash and Carry, you buy yourself a terabyte, okay, APC, you upgrade it, then you buy this thing called then you buy this flying bike, okay? This is the Oppressor Mark II. It is the worst vehicle ever to be implemented in an online game. I swear to God, whatever soul at Rockstar Games developed this bike deserves to be fired and blacklisted from the industry. Now here we're going to look at something called an SEC filing, okay? This is Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar, and this is sort of their financial, filings for the year of 2021. March 31st, 2021. This is that fiscal year, this is where they're going for. Now, inside this document, they are literally saying, we are dependent on the future success of our Grand Theft Auto products. GTA and certain of our other titles such as Red Dead Redemption and NBA 2K, aka slot machine with a basketball theme, are hit products and have historically accounted for a substantial portion of our revenue. GTA products contributed 29.2% of our net revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, how many new GTA games have there been in the last... Oh, none. Absolutely fucking none. You know what's been a staple for GTA? Shark cards. You know what I talked about, that flying bike? Well, it costs millions to buy if you just grind. Not if you buy a shark card, though. God damn, maybe that's what Rockstar wants you to do. See, the GTA Online economy is so broken at this point that basically buying a candy bar is the equivalent of taking a second mortgage out of your multi-million-dollar Los Santos mansion. The prices are so inflated that if you're a new player just jumping in and you don't want to feel absolutely destitute and poor, you better pony up for some goddamn shark cards, or you better find some GTA philanthropists like me who are willing to give you 100% of a heist share. But yes, Rockstar Games makes millions of dollars a day on GTA 5 microtransactions, if not billions, over $1 billion a year just on GTA Online. There are that many whales playing this online game. Like I told you, this game actually is worth the play, okay? It's a good game, but it's also surrounded with whales that constantly funnel millions of dollars into Rockstar Games. It's almost as if they don't really have an incentive to directly jump on GTA 6 yet. You gotta ride the gravy train out. Once this income slows down, Rockstar is probably gonna be like, all right, boys, GTA Online 2 better be on the way, and if it isn't siphoning cash out of the player base, fuck it. Now, GTA 5, we've established, makes a lot of money. It's one of the most played online games. Now, to understand, GTA 5 has Rockstar Games. Last time I covered this video, it was in the news. Rockstar actually sued some of these mod menus. If you didn't know what was going on, mod menus literally leaked players' Rockstar IDs, which wasn't that big of a deal. They leaked the player IP address. And like I told you earlier, I live in a dynamic IP address. A static IP address, meaning my IP doesn't change unless I go down to my internet service provider and beg them to change it, okay? Basically, I trade in the modem and they give me a brand new one. So anytime I sign on to GTA 5 or GTA Online without a virtual private network, which, trust me, it's a lot harder than it sounds, okay? Remember the time I talked about the GPD win? Yeah, I signed on by mistake. My IP got leaked, and basically once your IP is leaked, it gets cataloged. And when it's cataloged, there's a bunch of nerds out there waiting to take you down. So the idea is, if you have a dynamic IP address, meaning it changes every time you unplug the modem and plug it back in, you really don't have to worry too much about this, right? But if you play GTA Online, use a VPN, okay? Anything to mask your IP address, because once they have your home IP address, oh, they're DOSing it like no tomorrow. They will gladly boot you off the internet. And the mod menus constantly showed it. That's because GTA 5, for as popular as it is still a mostly peer-to-peer game. GTA Online is so fucking peer-to-peer that it's easier to talk about the stuff that it does server-sided. Basically, peer-to-peer means that if 32 players are connected in a session, one of those 32 players is picked on a variety of factors to host the actual game. Meaning the other 31 players have to all connect to that one player hosting the game. That means if you play Team Deathmatch, for instance, in 32 players peer-to-peer, the person hosting has the biggest advantage ever, because they don't have to worry about things like lag. They fucking host the game. Now, with 31 players, the person who suffers the most is the one geographically located furthest from the host, because according to the laws of physics, it takes them the longest to communicate with the host. Peer-to-peer is a relic from the old days, okay? We're talking the Paleolithic era of video gaming. Back in the day, when I was younger and brighter and full of more energy, I was playing games like Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2, and back in the day, games like that were peer-to-peer, okay? Meaning that when a game is peer-to-peer, we are sharing our IP addresses no matter what. Nowadays, most games, even independent games, are fed off cloud servers and dedicated servers, meaning we connect to a dedicated server and it basically masks our IP address from one another. A good example is, we're going to go down the list of popular games and just show you how dedicated servers work. So here's Call of Duty Warzone, one of the most popular games right now. Warzone, when I connect to players, first off, signing on to Warzone, I get a bunch of IPs. These IPs all connect to Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and various cloud services. This is used to distribute content across the board. Now, where it gets really wild and raunchy and beautiful is when we look at something like if we're connecting to another player. So here I'm doing a gunfight. Now I connect to this one server where you can see by the amount of uploads and downloads, I'm communicating to the server in real time as I'm playing the game. Now, this server leads to a cloud hosting server. It's basically some third-party dedicated server that Activision cheaped out on, but it's still dedicated, meaning I'm not really giving out my IP address to these other players in the lobby. So if I play without a VPN, I'm not at risk of having my IP given out and just DDoSed away for years to come. Now, games, I shit you not, like Rainbow Six Siege, also popular, you'll notice communicates to two servers. Vivox, which is used to send my, audio data and text data, and Microsoft, which handles the actual dedicated servers for Rainbow Six Siege. Yes, using Microsoft Azure cloud services, Rainbow Six masks our IP and gives us dedicated servers to play on. Ladies and gentlemen, Among Us, one of the most popular games, but also one of the most indie games, also provides us with cloud servers, it seems. You can see with every game that I connect to, even with 12 players, I'm not seeing all of their IP addresses. I'm only seeing one IP address, the dedicated server for Among Us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even Among Us is doing a better job at handling player security and online services than Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 5. Truly, Among Us is AAA gaming, and GTA 5 is frankly the poor man's indie company, right? Maybe that's what it is. I shit you not, I think Cyberpunk Online will do a better job whenever that rolls around. Ladies and gentlemen, Phasmophobia, which I think is developed by like one person, literally also backends to multiple cloud server frontends. So yes, now that we've went over cloud servers and how literally every other game is doing a better job at not handing out the player IP address, yes, this is insanity. One of the wildest things I've ever seen, this comes us from the r/Among Us community, is this post. IP addresses give staggering amounts of data, and only one device can be assigned to a unique IP address. So far, so good, right? Now, here they kind of fearmonger a lot of people. They tell you, your name can be given with the IP. No, it can't, not really. Geographic locations, it basically leads to the data center, but it's roughly close. Vulnerable ports running on the device. All right, don't run vulnerable ports. Gender. What? Lamau? Picture of face. All right, we're losing it. Social media? Not really. Email address? Not really. Phone number? Not really. Relatives? You're out of your mind. This is like somebody who pretends to be like OSINT savvy, but they're really fucking not. Ladies and gentlemen, when your IP gets leaked, really your actual IP address, which can be used to DOS you, gets leaked, but don't think that all your credit card and social security numbers are out there, okay? I just wanted to nip that misinformation real quick. So ladies and gentlemen, when you look at GTA 5 and compare it to the other games that I've shown you, Grand Theft Auto 5, as soon as you connect to an online session, the key difference to look here is all of the various IPs that I'm uploading from and downloading to. These are all different players, so this is their actual IP addresses being forwarded right to me. So as I'm playing, I don't know if these people are on VPNs or if they aren't. If they're not on VPNs, they gave me their IP address. This is the difference between playing something like Call of Duty Modern Warfare with like dedicated servers that everyone connects to, and it doesn't hand out everyone's IP address like a game from 2011 or 2010. This is a 2021, one of the biggest AAA games, literally handing out IP addresses. And to further prove it with you, I'm going to forcibly disconnect myself from all these other players, and as the players leave the lobby, the IP addresses fail to resolve in the network traffic. So yes, this is a game that still literally to this day, as I'm filming this, continues to hand this out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are plenty of degenerate sites that one can go to. For instance, this is how prevalent it is, okay? This one website right here, which basically tells you all of the paid PC mods. For instance, you see mods like Phantom X, Impulse, Paragon, X-Force, all these mod menus. For instance, this Phantom X mod that you can actually look at, this is a video back from 2019. Rockstar actually does remove these with copyright claim takedowns, just because, yes, they are actually pushing malicious mods onto the online community. Yes, Rockstar does go after them. So for instance, in this Phantom X video teaser trailer, in this one screenshot, this guy's playing online, picks a random player, and not only did they just get the host like information of like what they're doing in the game, if you look at their geolocation information, this is what's fucked up in these mod menus, is not only are they giving out the IP, they're giving out, you know, the city or whatever. The IP is the most important part. Once they have that, yeah, they can just boot you all they want. It's fucking messed up. You know, if you go to their own website right now, Phantom X, you can literally find out these guys put more effort into the security for their tool than Rockstar Games ever will. If you go to their FAQ, I shit you not, they literally have they have DRM for their shitty mod menu. They have an anti-crack. You can't run this in a virtual machine because they don't want you to analyze it. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't trust these scumbag companies at all. First off, if you're dumb enough to buy this, I hope your data gets stolen. First off, I have no sympathy for you, but you cannot trust people like this and run their software natively on your computer, because the amount of rootkitting, the amount of rats they're going to install, and the amount of actual data they're going to steal off your computer, these are scumbag companies committing literal crimes, all right? You think they're not going to steal your data? You're living in a fantasy land if you think that. So here's a mod menu right here called X-Force again, and this is wild. They give you like 24-hour support, all of that nonsense. It's a great GTA 5 mod menu developed by X-Man, okay? And then you get down into it, okay? They're like strictly to be used in single player mode. What? You know people are just gonna buy this shit and go online. What's wrong with you? I love these totally legitimate reviews that I can see right here. 10 out of 10, fast and reliable. Oh yeah. Oh, I bet. I love how like they literally are like only for single player use. And then they have like a network tab right over here. Like what, dude? You can't even like try to be like low key about it. Like you know. They've also got a lifetime membership for like 12 euros. Tell me that they're not stealing data off of you. I literally can't imagine they won't steal data. If Rockstar doesn't take this down with a legal threat, I don't know what's going to happen. One of the sites, Paragon, for instance, which apparently is listed here as an actual working thing, literally had their data compromised, okay? This includes social club IDs, IPs, emails, Discord IDs, license keys, no passwords, thank God. That alone is very possible to recover from with transparency to the community. However, an incident like this changes things. It has increased the risks involved to a point that staying operational is no longer viable. Regrettably, this leads us to the decision to shut down and avoid further complications before it's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, I think there's another word for this, and it might just be exit scamming, okay? They made enough money, they didn't want to get sued by Rockstar, and they just cut and run. That's how these operations work. They're these degenerate scumbags running this shit and getting away with it. It is deplorable and it is disgusting. And just to reiterate so that like the entire AI that watches over this video doesn't get the wrong idea that in some way I'm promoting this, I do not endorse any of these mod menus at all whatsoever. I firmly believe these people are out to steal your personal data and infect your computers. And also, hacking an online multiplayer game is also pretty degenerate, and it's also just one of the weirdest things that you can waste your time on. I don't endorse it. You're breaking Rockstar's terms of service. And quite honestly, it's just wrong. You just shouldn't hack in an online video game, okay? It's just bad. And also, you shouldn't pay money to a bunch of these hacker groups because, like I said, if you think they're not stealing your data, if you think they're not infecting your computer, you live in an absolute imaginary world. But, you know, I feel like when Rockstar sues these companies, it doesn't actually do anything. Because at the end of the day, a new mod menu is just going to spawn up. Yeah, even if they quit and run, it doesn't really cost anything for them to re-up their operation under a new name and start selling it to the degens of the GTA Online community. Which, trust me, there's plenty of. This stuff sells, unfortunately. But the problem here is the Rockstar Games social infrastructure. Look, here's how how bad this is, okay? You can literally look up anybody's Rockstar ID. For instance, here's my Rockstar ID. I'll just leak it out because it's already out there anyways. I might as well get on top of it. My account online is Mom Works for Sega, and my ID is 263527. You think that there's people, once you have this ID, people can jump into your lobbies as closed off as they are. I've had people ruin heists for me, literally out of the middle of nowhere. It is annoying and pointless. And the more videos I make about this, the more awful my GTA Online experience becomes. But I'd rather my GTA Online experience become horrible if it means Rockstar can get off their ass and do something. To understand, this is literally just Rockstar laziness. There's no way Take-Two is telling Rockstar not to leak. Like, you're telling me Take-Two, Rockstar employees come up to them, it's like, hey guys, can we issue a patch to GTA Online so IPs don't get leaked? There's a Take-Two executive going, whoa! What? You want to patch the game to reduce IP leakage? Go. Wait, is it going to make me money in shark cards? Yeah? All right, go for it. You think the Take-Two executive is saying, no, don't patch that. We must leak IPs. It satiates my bloodlust. That's not how it works. All right, that's not how it works at all. All right, Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar and Take-Two can sue all these companies, but until they get off their ass and rebuild the infrastructure, which, before anybody tells me, but Muda, that's going to cost a lot of money. We went over their SEC filings. Bro, these guys make a killer amount of cash, more than many games in their business. They're not even making games. They're just running an online service at this point. But if you're going to run an online service, one of the biggest online services, maybe it's time to upend the actual decaying, decrepit infrastructure and push in some method to prevent our IPs from being so visibly out there. Dude, plenty of games do it, okay? COD Warzone does it? Sure, that's a big game. But if Phasmophobia is beating Rockstar Games at providing players some semblance of privacy, something has gone wrong. Every time an influencer or anybody makes a video about this, Rockstar goes into like this, oh shit, Take-Two, hey, can you sue some of these mod menus? And everyone thinks it's over. It's never over until Rockstar actually gets off their butthole and fixes some of these IP issues, fixes their crumbling peer-to-peer infrastructure. Do I have any faith that Rockstar will do it? No. You know what I honestly believe? When GTA 6 rolls around, we're still going to be sitting in the land of peer-to-peer, okay? It's going to take a miracle for Rockstar to upgrade to 2015 standards of gaming even. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and Rockstar Games keeps leaking out the IP address. Why? Because they refuse to upgrade from peer-to-peer. Why? I don't know. Maybe it costs them the extra $1 a month to run. This is me, Mudahar, ladies and gentlemen, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I need to decompress.